professional colleagues. We start by giving recognition to whom recognition is due. That is the commander himself. To me, I address him as the teacher of teachers, the doctor of doctors, the guru of gurus, the professor of professors. He has past, present, and future information in his fingertips. He is invisible, but he has evidence of visibility, more tangible than what accountants call tangible assets. The Almighty God. Beyond the numbers, leading with courage in uncertain times. There is no other way to describe the times and season we have found ourselves, a time of uncertainty. In financial management, we talk of risk, we talk of decision making under condition of uncertainty, and we talk of decision making under condition of certainty. When you talk about decision making under condition of risk, it means we have a clue about what has happened in the past, and we assign probability. That is the probability that it will happen. I remember in those days, 1999, 2000, when I came into Abuja and joined the United Bank for Africa, PLC, when bankers jumping from one bank to another, the general slogan was, "Why are you taking this risk?" But suddenly we had the new generation banks. So when you leave the old generation, you go to new generation bank. The slogan changed to, "Why are you leaving certainty for uncertainty?" But with time, when this new generation banks stood the test of time, the language also changed. Why are you taking risk? And we hear over and over, Bensi Dausa, blessed memory, blessed said, life itself is all about risk, and it is risky not to take a risk. That is courage. In the face of adversity, when everything appears to be dark, there is gloominess, and we said, for us accountants, that are expected to be the beacon of hope for our companies, our nations on earth. The thicker the darkness, the brighter our light shine. A couple of years ago, I will start this. I was to take a decision. I was into a partnership with an American. I caught the vision, I caught the idea, but I needed somebody abroad to actualize this idea. And we started this business together. And suddenly, flesh came in. When you realize how profiting this investment, this venture became, he claimed ownership. Say, you are only a partaker, I am the owner. Meanwhile, even before traveling to the United States, the document evidencing registration of this association then in the US, my name was there, his name was there, as the founders, very changed. And at that point, when he claimed ownership, he started informing cronies, those who work with him, that going forward, anything about the association, they should not relate with Dr. Adebayo any longer. They already assigned another Nigeria in the United States. After laboring for years on this particular association. Now in a vision at night, I keep saying this, when men were busy sleeping, somebody will even say, is it that Prof doesn't sleep? I put my spiritual antenna in the line to collect the signal. There are some secrets you will never see on the pages of books.
Yes.
They are given direct from above, and what is from above is above all. And I saw in that revelation, God painted it for me in a picture. I saw how I was driving a bus, and that bus suddenly had a problem. I was struggling that this thing must work by force. That's the boss of the business, that's the description. And while struggling with this boss, that after all my labor, everything I put in, I will just let go. So in the midst of this struggle, I saw another new boss. I don't know how that one got their chances. They even kick-started that one hand, and in that revelation, it was my wife I saw. So leave this boss you are struggling with. Here is another provision. And I left the old one. I started working towards the new boss. The human being, our nature, I don't want to let go. I said, after all my labor, I was working towards the new one. But eventually, I let go. And that new boss is what every one of us are riding on today. This is here too. At times, I want to take a decision, and I will be afraid. It's normal to be afraid. But you need a partner that will tell you you can. Stars and Mars. What lies behind you, what lies before you is not as significant as what lies within you. Great potentials, but you need somebody to help you steer it up. Sometimes I want to take a decision, I'm afraid with this one. She is the one that will tell me, oh, why not? You can. Go ahead. It was time I've had over and over. Start a school. I had again build structures. Structures outlive the owners. There is nothing wrong for you to have a school in Nigeria and have another one abroad. The one who have the capacity to release the resources as spoken. But I was afraid, how do I start? And suddenly I took a whole step, courage. In Buhari, Abuja, we saw a land, and I called her again. I said, there is a land. This is the next question. What are you waiting for? Go ahead. Today, 2018, and that's about over 6 years. We have White Knight Academy, private secondary school, WAEC and NECO accredited in Buhari, Abuja, FCT, Nigeria. With over 300 students. College. And why am I also sharing this with us? One of the reasons why God allows us to access some blessing is not for us alone. There are some people whose destiny has been tied by your decision to take a courageous step to make sure you actualize that project and that vision. Are you aware that as a result of fear, you have many ideas? Some of you seated here today. Fantastic idea that sometimes when you even see the dream, you see the idea, you want, can this thing be possible? Are you aware that as a result of fear and as a result of your inactivity, or you have not taken the right step, some are busy, they are crying, having sleepless night, praying that you will come their way. Some will not fulfill their destinies until you, who have discovered your purpose, fulfill your own. We say over and over during our meeting that success without succession makes you a failure. Your success starts with you, end with you alone. Don't count yourself successful. I met one of us here, a member of ACCSA Global, at the airport a couple of weeks ago, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. And we were discussing, I don't know if she's there, please raise up. Okay, she may not be here. And she said she was coming from the United States, and she had lived with her children, two of them accountants, one of them working with Big 4 audit firms in the US, two of her children accountants. I said, Ma, congratulations, we are proud of you. You are living the world. Success without succession makes one a failure. I'm not saying all our children have to be accountants, but we are talking of lasting legacy, so that long after you are gone, somebody will continue from where you stop. Now, let me share this slide. See, what lies before us and what lies behind us are insignificant matters compared to what lies within us. Say, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle on the land, and over every creeping creature. And for him to say that, it means right from the time he was packaging us in our mama's belly, there are things he has packaged inside of us, awaiting our discovery. And until you discover those potentials, we will keep crying for scarcity in the midst of plenty. Some of us who have the potential capacity to be employers of labor will be blaming the government, will be crying that salaries have not been paid. When you have the capacity to even employ people, to build companies, to create organizations, and be paying salaries to people. Before them was the Red Sea, behind them the enemies. Are you seeing that? Have a picture. When I say before them the Red Sea, behind them the enemy. But what happened? He said, what lies within? When we say we have the Spirit of God inside of us, that is great asset in us. And that connectivity with divinity that makes a man relevant among humanity parted the Red Sea. Great potentials within. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. As a matter of fact, the size of the problem we solve affects the size of our income. Some people create problems deliberately, and the same people will come and say they have the solution. When we take example, this virus, they say virus, there is one stubborn one named after a politician, Raila Odinga. After creating this virus, they will sit down, that will have the antivirus, and you have to pay for that antivirus. Courage is grace under pressure. And what is grace, or what is the function of grace? Grace covers errors and color effort. So when you enjoy the grace of God, people will not see your mistakes, but they cannot deny your results. I say it over and over. I say it over and over. Sometimes I will just go humorously. I will be talking to the Spirit of God. That's the Holy Spirit. I say, Holy Spirit, you know me, I don't know grammar. It's debit and credit, I know. But what grace does is this: you may not speak Queen's English, you may not even speak correct English, but once you have that grace, when you have the correct backing, you get the result. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So we have to change as time changes and adapt ourselves to the environment. Remember also these popular sayings that say, the illiterate of the 21st century is not one who cannot read or write, but one who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Robert Kiyosaki puts it this way. He said the best way to describe insanity is to keep doing the same thing the same time and expect a different result. As long as the process remains the same, the result will remain the same. And I said this again in this quote: the greatest glory in life is not in never falling, but to rise every time we fall. So fall is normal. There is hope for a tree. Even though the tree is down, at the scent of water, it will live again. And I use this as an example. After graduation, BSc, I served Zamfara State, then Sokoto State, Talata Mofara. And I decided to use the money my late brother then, they so rest in peace, sent me some money. Instead of just eating this money, let me buy a bike, a motorcycle. And I gave that motorcycle out to be making some little money. And rather than making money, I'm spending the little remaining. The guy I gave it out will come every day and start complaining. I'll fix this, I'll fix that. And one day I thought to myself, I said, why not do this Kabu Okada yourself? After all, this one is better than stealing. As early as 5 a.m., I keep this machine, go around and pick people, make some money. And one particular evening, I was returning one way, Sabongadi, Usau, Zamfara State. I was returning, the ground was slippery, it had just finished raining. And right in the same street I was born, I fell down. And people who saw me said, "No, it's not that big." But I stood up, kicked the machine, answered, and I zoomed up. And when I got home, I told my mom, blessed memory, this what happened. She started crying. I said, "No, don't cry. The greatest growth in life is not in never falling, but to rise after a fall." I have a colleague, maybe some of us also have these similar challenges in your organization, and sometimes maybe from your superior. I have a colleague graduated from the same university, graduated from the same class, but he was advantaged to be promoted ahead of me in my university by a professor that even taught the two of us on whatever ground, I don't know. He was a professor before me, I was a senior lecturer. And it was time for my promotion to an associate professor. They require 22 publications. I have 52. But this guy was the dean to check all my papers, and he marked down almost all my papers to make sure that I did not meet up with the required number of papers for promotion to an associate professor. And it became an argument even among the panel, the committee considering my paper. And one of them brought out the book, the promotion guideline. See, textbook, one textbook, 10 points. So why are you removing textbook? That guy defined the promotion guidelines to ensure that I was not promoted. He said textbook is only for those coming into the university for the first time. It will count. Even my international publication, which academia are aware that fetches more points, he marked them down. And at the end of the day, he wrote his report that I did not meet up with the requirement to be promoted as an associate professor. I met him in the office one day because I was the HOD, and there was one occasion here and there, and I met him in the office, and he threatened that you come to challenge me. Say, "I am a professor, you are not, and you will never be." I'm not lying. And another thing he said, that if you are not careful, I will send you out, I will sack you this out of this university. And at that point when he said I will sack you, I will send you out of this university, I first meditated, because a closed mouth is a closed destiny. I first meditated, do I want to remain in that university forever? And the response I gave to him, I said, you don't threaten a dead man with death. You don't threaten a dead man with death. As far as I'm concerned, I'm already out of this university. Courageous and visionary people, even though they exist in the present, psychologically, spiritually, they live in the future. Courageous leadership defines making bold decisions with incomplete information. I'm talking to accountants now. You are the accountant in charge of the preparation of report required for decision making, and you have incomplete data, and decision must be taken. Do you give excuses? Always try to take a decision, because failure to take a decision will quickly brand you as unfit for a position of responsibility. Although not all your decisions are expected to be correct, it is better for you to be 51% right at all times and get something done than for you to get nothing done because you are afraid to take a decision. You act decisively when data is unclear or evolving. Create something. Prioritizing long-term goals over short-term fears. Balancing risk and reward in uncertain conditions. Courageous leadership. Taking calculated risks to foster resilience and growth. Challenging conventional thinking to drive innovation. Courage versus fear, the mindset shift for uncertain times. Leading with optimism and confidence, not fear of failure. They asked that guy that discovered electric bulb that he has failed. He said, no, I only learned 999 new ways on how not to do it. Shifting focus from obstacles to opportunities. Empowering teams to embrace uncertainty with a proactive approach. Beyond the numbers, key aspect of leadership. Whether we like it or not, accountant, we are leaders. Management depend on us, government depend on us. I still remember when I say when a watchdog becomes a dog to be watched, there's problem. Key leadership traits for accountants. Visionary thinking, seeing beyond the immediate crisis. That's why we are here. Seeing beyond. Empathy and communication, supporting teams, clients and stakeholders. Agility and adaptability, that is flexibility in strategies and our approaches. Ethical integrity, upholding financial integrity despite pressures. The innovative problem solving, leveraging technology and data for new solutions. See a case study here. People, I just pick some few with results, who are taking courageous steps as leaders in times of uncertainty. We have Sandberg leading Facebook recovery from crisis. You know the story. Facebook faced some challenges, and what was the action she took? She took bold steps by initiating more transparency, strengthening data privacy regulation, and publicly acknowledging the company's role in the crisis. She led the effort to overhaul Facebook policies while guiding the company through legal and regulatory challenges. Outcome: despite intense public scrutiny, Facebook weathered the storm, emerging as a more responsible company. Let's see number 2. Alan Joyce, transforming Qantas Airways during the COVID-19 pandemic. Joyce made the difficult decision to ground the airlines. One of the airlines having problem international. And what is the current step here? Maybe some of us even have a project now. It's not working. Don't give up. Something must work. If one is not working, one will work. The one that is not working may be opportunity learning curve for you to learn. So that by the time you start the new, you will avoid the errors, the mistakes from the one that you know. So was the story of this Alan Joyce for case 2. Case 3. Somebody surprised you are seeing me as case study. It was Peter Drucker, one of the fathers of modern scientific management, who said, if the tool you have is an hammer, you see every problem as a nail. Navigating economic uncertainty in professional training. Background: during the global financial downturn, Professor Adebayo Paul, the training director of ACCSA Global, faced challenges in enrollment for professional training program. What was the courageous step? He expanded ACCSA Global's offerings to include virtual learning and international training collaboration. Despite initial resistance, he invested in digital platforms and expanded into new markets. Outcome: Professor Adejola successfully grew ACCSA Global's reach, bringing accountants from different countries together on the platform of IT for global training. Courageous step. By divine grace and election, I belong to ICANN, I belong to ANA. 1998, I was in the Nigerian College of Accountancy, Jos. I have my ANA first. And when I joined National State University, thereafter, my head of department, member of ICANN. And this guy will come to class and make mockery of ANA, of what I have. When this guy comes to class, he will tell students, this question I'm solving for you is iconize, not analyze. I have another colleague also, a chartered accountant. Each time we meet in events like that, the confidence, the way we even pronounce it when they ask us to introduce ourselves, the way we say, he will give you his name and we chartered accountant, you will with emphasis to intimidate us. Very intimidating. And I sat down one day and I said, Lord, even if I don't need icon to put food on my table or money in my bank account because of the mockery of this my colleague, help me to pass this exam. And without attending any lecture anywhere, with the knowledge I've garnered from Nigerian College of Accountancy and reading some textbook, I sat down, wrote the icon exam, and the rest is history. The rest is history. Now, if you look at the screen, you will see another picture of another courageous leadership. He used to be my account officer in Access Bank. Her name is Anne Isha. One day, she just opened up to me. This is the challenge I have. That she was even ashamed of herself to say it. She wanted to further her education, and she told me, I said, what's the class of degree? Of course, here before they admit you for masters, they are master, you have to have a 2-2 or 2-1. And said she had a third class. And she was, I now jokingly told her, it means you are going to play in school. But then I advised her, failure is not fatal. That the blessing, failure is not final. That the blessings of God is not so much a function of a man's qualification, but God's certification. That when God certifies you blessed, forget qualification. And from that advice, step by step, she had to apply for admission to foreign university, Dublin in Ireland, Republic of Ireland. He was given the admission. I did some statement to support the application. And as at the time she graduated, she did not only graduate with a distinction, she had prizes given to her. What lies behind us and what lies before us are insignificant compared to what lies within us. The power of collaboration, I'm glad some of us are leveraging on this. Early hours of this morning also before I left the hotel, one of us collaborating with us already, proposal, develop. One of the ways we can survive this uncertain time, collaboration. There is no one single man that is an island of himself that knows it all or that have it all. We need people. I tell my team, if there is any prayer, we should keep praying. Lord, give me the gift of men. We need the right people to be in the right place for us to actualize our dream and ideas. All this syndrome of, I want to do it alone, I don't want to share, will limit you. I'm one of us who leverage on this. We have been on the top even right from day one. And this morning, we just packaged that proposal and have sent. And we have similar examples, people here. Open up to collaboration, particularly to people you know are already there, that are not working for greed. It's not greediness. That you work out the formula, this is what percentage that will go to me. Fantastic. And one of the things I also say when we come to all this collaboration, say 1% of something is greater than 100% of nothing. That it is not about I want to take everything. You bring the job. Together, we partner, we execute this job. And once we make the profits, we say this is the percentage that is going. Then we say building cross-functional teams for problem solving, then leveraging collective intelligence to make informed decisions, sharing the burden, financial and operational collaboration. Tools for leading with confidence. We have tools as accountants. Number one, we have seen some of these tools. They are put in our hand, and from what Dr. Lambert have shared earlier, it is one thing for us to know that these tools are available. It is a different ballgame for you to know how to use it. You consciously acquire knowledge, not assume it. Knowledge that we have that doesn't translate. I say I know this, and what I claim I know cannot translate into marketable innovation or services, or cannot put additional money in my bank account or food on my table, then I've not known much as I need to know. Self-education is dangerous. And when you look at something about drunkards, if you are drinking knowledge, if you look at knowledge as a liquid and you are taking, to come to a time you are intoxicated with that knowledge. And what do they do when you see a drunkard? Sometimes come say, leave it clear, everybody clear for it. That is knowledge can be intoxicating when you have it. And with this, I share with us also that those courageous step. I'm not saying everybody have to be here, have to travel abroad, have to Japan if you want me to use that language. But in that courageous step also, very, very key, you need divine direction. Divine direction, very important as a counter. Divine direction. Because one thing about the Almighty God, God will always back up whatever He has initiated. If He's the one who has led you, He will back you up. And what I mean by backing up here, I've said this over and over, and it's working. It is the backing of the extraordinary God that makes an ordinary man appear extraordinary. We need that backing. Today, by divine grace and election, let's listen to very important information. Not that we come here to brag or do anything. No, I will returning the glory to God. I was in US precisely January 19 last year. You need to take courageous step. My visa was about expired. B1, B2 that have been using. I renew almost every year from 2010, my first time going to US. And I now said, okay, let me just go ahead and take the bold step. I knew it that as I'm going, there are two things. It's either I come back before the expiration of my visa and come and apply for another B1, B2, which they may or may not. Or I take another bold step by putting for a green card in the US. Where am I going? Even the United States are looking for problem solvers. And when I contacted an attorney, he charged me some thousands of dollars. I did that, I paid. They saw my CV and advised, don't go for EB2. With this, your CV, you should go for EB1. EB1 is for researchers, professors, and people with extraordinary ability. And why am I drawing our attention to this? Some of us, we feel we have arrived in our comfort zone, but God has something greater and bigger outside here. And to the glory of God, within 6 months of the approval of my green card, less than a year I was given that green card, and within 6 months of the approval of this green card, the money, the fund, you know, if you have like, is it $500,000? That's another way investors come and invest, another way to get green card. But within that 6 months of my green card approval, not any ACCSA global, other ideas, only giving idea and some connection, over $500,000 mobilized into an account in the US, not here in Nigeria. Within 6 months, ideas rule the world. Overcoming challenges with courage. Common challenges accountants face during economic crisis, managing cash flow and liquidity in uncertain markets, dealing with rapid changes in regulatory and compliance requirements, balancing cost-cutting measures with long-term financial planning, pressure to maintain transparency and financial integrity under stress, how to manage fear, uncertainty and doubt. 1. Acknowledge and address uncertainties rather than avoiding them. The higher the risk, the higher the return. So we are saying be a risk taker, not a risk averse professional. Face risk. If you notice, the last boxing between Anthony Joshua and that guy, what's the name of that guy again? He was so timid. You didn't get that. That guy was a warrior. I think that's the nickname. He was running, talking about the best form of defense is attack. Attempt first. When you fail, you try again. Developing resilience through self-awareness and continuous learning. As I close, overcoming challenges with courage. Listen to this one. In uncertain times, the only thing more frightening than failure is not trying at all. You don't want to try again. Many of us, maybe this morning you are listening, they are about giving up. The message is don't give up. I've seen that happen in life, that sometimes something God has already packaged for you in abundance, the enemy will want to use it to oppress you. Some are at the verge of their breakthrough, they give up. Don't give up. Do not be afraid of tomorrow, for God is already there. And one thing about God, his ways different from our ways. I say if a man is writing a letter, you start with introduction, you do the body, you do the conclusion. But if God is doing the same letter, he concludes first because he knows the end from the beginning. When he concludes, then he will now back up to start to do the introduction, and because he has the capacity to introduce various chapters, even when men try to thwart his plan, because of that glorious destiny he has fixed, he can introduce several chapters so that all things will now work together for your. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Call to action. Embrace courageous leadership today. Accountants, the backbone of financial stability. That's who we are. Your role is pivotal in maintaining economic balance and guiding organization through uncertainty. Financial decisions made today can shape the future of entire industry and communities. That's what we're experiencing. Be bold in transforming challenges into opportunities. Lead with confidence, integrity, and vision. And we say vision is the difference between our today and tomorrow. Vision puts the answer in your hand when others are discussing the question. Vision puts the solution in your hand when others are discussing the problem. Moving from survival to sustainable growth. Call to action and the closing charge. Professional colleagues, it takes a lion heart to have a lion share. That is courage. If it is too big for your mind to comprehend and too big for your mouth to declare, then it is too big for your hands to handle. Keep the fire aglow despite the obstacles and challenges. The greater the mockery, the greater the making. Only those who fight and conquer wear the golden crown. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. And I will encourage us with this last word. Some of us are having challenges. You want to start business, it's here, it's not working, or you have frustration. Maybe your place of work, opposition. To me, what I look at and I see as opposition. Opposition is another way to prove your strong position. When you mind your opposition, you may lose your position. And sometimes opposition are signposts to destiny. The enemy will not just fold his hand. Now, okay, you have a great future. Fold his hand for you to come and enter into that future. There will be challenges. And I conclude here, I say, what is happening is temporal. But what is written about us is eternal. As long as you are not tired of declaring what is written about you, what is happening will be tired of you and let you go. It's not just about crunching numbers, but leading with foresight, adaptability, and courage. Stars and man, the future depends on the bold decision we make today. Thank you for your attention.